Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Trend Trader with a quick update on Bitcoin. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. Alright, so it's very obvious we are getting quite a bit of negative price action. The dump is here. I just want to go over this and hopefully just add a little bit of clarity to the space, as I understand that quite a few people are having difficulty with technical analysis, or pretending to know how to do technical analysis and they don't. It should be very clear to everyone when you see a situation like this where you're basically operating within a range and then you get a breakout and then a massive dump like that, that the trend is either topped out or very close to topping out. The likelihood of getting continuation after something like this is very unlikely. Anybody that was in this area from pretty much anywhere prior to the breakout would get taken out in that move. And then afterwards, it's very difficult for people to get excited about price action again and take that chance again after you see something like this, because it's very clear, although it did get bought up and we did go up higher after that, it's very clear that the trend is basically done at that point in time. And well, we're going to get down to the indicator oscillators as well, but you'll notice here that once the TJD TDMACD came up and put in all those red histograms, price was still floating up here. And what that means is this is essentially the oscillators going down. The moving average is still on its way up because the move is so violent to the upside, but the price action is going up while the oscillator goes down. That's a divergence. It just means that price is going up, oscillator is going down. They should say the same thing. There should be confluence between those two things, and there's not. So eventually we come back through here, we save the trend after that dump and then come back up, but since then we never had a positive slope on this. I mean, we had little spots like this, but after you start seeing a couple of those, it should be very obvious that these are all fake outs. So throughout this whole range right here, you could say you're not sure what's going to happen or whatever, but essentially we get above the line and can't hold it. We get above the line here, finally flip it over blue, and then start selling off immediately, on the oscillator, turning red again. So when it's turning red like that, that's telling you it's not lining up again. We're getting blue right here, saying that the slope is positive. We're above it, so we should be dragging the slope upward and slowly creating strength. And that's not happening. And then all of a sudden we get this massive pump candle out of nowhere. If you weren't expecting that, probably got taken out of whatever positions you were in. If you're in a short, FOMO'd in if you're not in a position. And then essentially now we're back in the uptrend and it looks strong after that pump in. And then we get absolutely zero follow through. Not even one attempt at a candle to continue on. So it becomes very obvious again all of a sudden that we're going to get ready to sell off. So the group took shorts out of this area, literally off the absolute top, absolutely crushed it. We actually had one member with over 100% gains for his first time on a trade, so that was pretty exciting. Shout out to you, my man. And then after that, we basically just sold back off. We sold off this whole entire time. And if you look at the actual Fibonacci retracement, when we're coming down here, once this is going down, it's very obvious again that we're going down. And then now here, once again, we have a massive divergence in the indicator. Price action is going down, tries to rally back up, attempts to rally back up. That's just a relief rally from so much violent selling that the price is able to bounce a little bit because somebody thinks this is the bottom, I'm going to buy in. And what that is, that's like newbie FOMO. If you see a move like this and then it sells off the whole move, you shouldn't be looking for buys. You should be very clearly thinking, okay, this might be reversing the entire trend that we've been in for months. So once we basically get back below here, and then you see the histogram moving back to the upside, and it flips the slope back over blue again, but we're underneath it, that is literally one of the most reliable signs that we're about to get a massive sell-off, dump, continuation to the downside, etc. The histogram is underneath the price action. It's underneath the moving average, okay? So it's naturally going to drag the moving average down. And yet, from underneath it, this whole entire time, it's able to get, it's so violently sold off that this little move back up here, and it's gone sideways for so long, it's able to actually flip the slope back over from underneath it. So it's underneath the slope line, and yet somehow flips it back over blue. All that means is we just consolidated so long, the slope was literally just going sideways on that line, and that any tiny little price action to the up or downside can flip the slope over. But if it's going sideways like that and the price action is underneath it, it's underneath it like this, that little pump up right there is enough to flip it back over positive, but we don't have any strength. We're not even close to ever getting back above that. This is by far, on this indicator, the most reliable dump, divergence, fake out signal possible. when you're underneath it and you flip it over. It's the same as if we were on top of it and then it was blue on top of it, and then all of a sudden we sell off, but we're still on top of it, and then it turns red. Like we're above it, so it should be pulling it up. It should pull it up and blue, and the slope should be increasing. If that's a reliable move, we should go up in the same way that this right here would say that if we're below it, we're going down, we should be flipping that back over red and going down. So obviously that's what happens. We get this small relief rally, it comes up, and if you pull up like an actual Fibonacci for just this little bit of a move right here, because at the time you're determining, is this like basically like the bottom and we're going to continue to the upside, you'll notice right here, we literally bounce from the bottom right here, come back up to like the 382, come back down, put in a lower low with this wick, and then we come back up to the 382 again. So we tried to bottom, pushed up, failed violently. Tried to bottom, pushed up, failed violently. Like, it should be very obvious what's going on here. This is distribution taking place throughout this entire range. This whole pattern right here is a massive distribution pattern, and this right here is like the spring or the throw over. It's what we're saying about you stand on the edge of the cliff, throw the baseball as high as you can up in the air, and you know it goes higher and higher and higher, and you think, oh my gosh, it's going to the moon. But then it starts coming back down. It should be very clear that you're not strong enough to throw the baseball to the moon. So quit with that, because that's how you're getting wrecked, and that's why you don't get to play anymore. So now you're gone from the space. You're not even watching this video anymore because you didn't listen to your boy. And I'm sorry to hear that, but learn how to do TA. Spend your money and your time learning, not buying some rip-off program from someone, or basically just following Moonboy videos because they make you feel good about your bad investments. Okay? Go out and buy a real asset if you don't want to actually do the work. Real estate, gold, silver, hold dollars if you have to. It's better than, FOMOing into something like this and getting wrecked. So, but I don't have to tell you guys that because you're the ones who actually listen and put in the work, and you're here to learn. So I'm going to keep teaching you. So now look, we point out right here very clearly in the trade group that there is a divergence. That we have this right here, this bounce right here. We have this top right here. So what we point out is we have this right here. Price action is moving up right here, and we're already getting a divergence. We're getting a massive amount of extra energy. So this arrow right here symbolized, we put it in ahead of time, that if the price action or if the oscillator indicator histogram went up higher than that point right there, we were going to have a massive divergence. Because this was our previous one, and look where the price action was at. It was all the way up here. So when we were down here, we actually took in this descending broadening wedge, we recognize this pattern right here, the little extending triangle, and when we bounced off the bottom and failed to break out, we took the long position out of this area for the measured move of the break, and it formed essentially like an ascending triangle, flat top, curved bottom. We broke out, failed to even get the measured move. And really, this is a counter trend trade. We weren't even really looking for that. It was just in case it moves to the upside, we could scalp a couple percent. But the real move is to the downside. So look, the price action right here on the TJD TDMACD, look at that. It has to get back up to this point with the same amount of energy. And we had already used a ton of energy, and we were like here. So we knew that unless this move went way up here and got a close above 11,879, it was going to very clearly print a 4-hour divergence, which is bearish divergence on the oscillator indicator price action, and then we're going to sell back off. And now here we have on the Bellina Cessna the exact same thing, even worse. This is the top already on the blue, and price was way up here, and then we come down here, we start putting in this second top right here, and we're like, okay, it's going to sell off. It's not going to print divergence. It's going to print convergence. We got a lower high here, lower high here, lower high on price action. But if it continues up and it goes any higher than this right here, it's going to print a massive bearish divergence. Meanwhile, everybody in the space, all these influencers are talking about bullish divergence on some made up little bit of junk indicator that's like, I'm not even going to get into it, but anyway, so as soon as we pump up higher than this right here, unless we get this price action back above this point right here with the same amount of energy, which at that point in time is impossible because we've already come up to here with that much energy. So the price action would literally have to continue to the upside. So we're already alerted. We're already paying attention for that, for this to not make it above here. And look exactly what happens. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like it because, you know what they say. Nobody sells the top, and nobody buys the bottom. And if they say they did, they're a liar, and we got them. Well, somebody did buy the bottom, and somebody did sell the top, and it's called our trade group. we literally took a short off of this tiny little micro wick right here. This trade setup was already in the books before we even got to it. Okay? I mean, it was waiting for us. And how did we do it? Well, we used the golden zone on the fibs, 382 to 618, okay? And you're saying, oh, but that overshot the 382, so why didn't you take it at the 382? Well, because we use confluence on multiple things. And in this case, we're using indicator oscillators. And the most important thing going on right here was the moving averages. We got right here a sell down below it. We're finding resistance. The same way I was saying we were getting rejected off of the purple 89 to the upside. Wick, 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 pop. Wick, wick, pop. Continue up here. And then we come back down, wick, and it's saving it. And then we're just hanging out on it. And that's that ball. It bounces the first time, and then it breaks through, comes back up, finds resistance, sells off, but it's sitting at the moving average. So the longer it spends sitting at a moving average, the same way it sits here and then it falls through, same way it sits here and then it busts through, when it comes up here, we're expecting it to get rejected by the 55 simple. And that's exactly what happened. And that's where we took our short off of at 11,819. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't buy the absolute top, okay, or sell the absolute top. I sold 11,805. So I missed it by $14 on $11,819 move. I missed the top by $14. And over here, I think I missed it by about $20. So people do buy the bottoms and people do sell the tops, but there's people that actually put in the work and learn how to use indicators, oscillators, price action, all these different things, divergences. And we don't just go on Twitter and follow what somebody else says. You take the time and you learn, and then you learn and think for yourself so you don't end up on the wreck train. Because that's what it is. Everybody gets on this train and goes, hey, everybody get on, we're filling it up. And you don't realize that it's headed to Wreck City. You think it's going to the moon because there's a little ticker on the front that says, moon, we're leaving at noon to the moon. But in all reality, the second you get on the train, it's loaded up. The little ticker on the top like flashes off a little bit, and then the screen comes back on, and it says, Wreck City, all aboard, woo, woo. And that's it. Now you're on Wreck City with the rest of the crew. And that's it. We literally sell off here, start consolidating, and then dump. As soon as we take out the parabolic SAR, flip it back over red. It's very clear what's about to happen. We attempt to come down here once and save it. That's the moon boys trying to buy the bottom. That's the fakers saying they took a trade off this position and it's going to the moon, and they got the absolute best buy. You shouldn't even be taking trades to the upside unless you're an advanced trader. You should not be taking trades to the upside because this is a downtrend. That's a high. That's a low. That's a high. That's a low. That's a high. That's a low. And every single one is lower than the one before it. And what's going to happen right here? We already took out the micro low right here. So if this right here does not get caught up before it hits this moving average and get a close above this, we're going to confirm another lower low. That's another lower low. And that is a downtrend, clear as day already. And it's going to be even more of a downtrend. So once we get rejected off that, what's our targets? We're going to try to come down here to 200 simple, 200 exponential, bounce this area right here, okay? But that's just going to be a relief rally bounce. We're not just going to bounce this area and then go straight back up to the upside. Now, is it possible? Yeah, of course it's possible. You know, we're going to stay subjective just in case it does. And we'll probably even take a scalp off that position. But you know why we can take scalps to the opposite of the trend and we can take counter trend trades? We can do it because we're playing with your money. We took the market's money on all these different moves, and then we can be a little more reckless with our trades. We can take that extra little coin flip if we want, but it's because we're playing with the market's money. You don't do it out of desperation because you want to buy the bottom because you're afraid you're going to miss the next big move. You do it because you have technicals lining up, you have indicators telling you one thing, you have oscillators telling you the same thing, you have moving averages aligning up with all that, okay? So now let's switch back over here, and we're going to talk about, obviously you see now where we got these targets from. It's very clear. The first target obviously is based on the 200 simple and 200 exponential, and the next target is based on the projected area where the 377 will be, and the slope will continue up strong, but as price action sells off, it's going to level off, and that's going to give us our target right here. And that's why we were able to take a 2.5% stop loss with a 4.9% risk to the downside. So essentially, you know, it's a 2-to-1 trade. We get twice as much if we win as if we lose. So if we flip this coin, if we're right, we get $2. If we're wrong, we lose $1. And we're doing it off of confluence on multiple indicator oscillators. And now if we continue on, we'll take profit on 25 to 50% of our trade right here, and then we'll expect to move to the upside. So we'll take profit in spot. So that will take us out of part of our short. We'll take that same money, put in a long, take the bounce back up to one of these key fib levels, indicator oscillator like areas, moving averages, whatever. And then from there, we will resell back off the spot or transfer that into our hold account. And then we'll reshort again off of one of these key moving averages when we get the retest and then break down. And that will give us our next target down here to the 377, in which case, that trade now is even more beneficial because we still have that initial 2.5% stop loss. We'll move it down lower, so there's no way we can ever take a loss on this trade now that we've moved so far away from price action. And then we will be able to take the continuation in the trade we're already in, which is a 9.35%. So it's almost 4 to 1, 3.7 to 1. Okay, so that's what this is all about. That's what this game is all about. It's all about being right for a reason and then sticking with that big winner, that little winner until it becomes a big winner. Because 2 to 1 is good, but it's not great. But 4 to 1 is great. I'll take 4 to 1 all day. That means you can literally be wrong 4 times, and if you're right 1 time, you break even. Well, that's great. I'll take that coin flip all day. And then if you take into account the fact that we win substantially more than 1 in every 2 trades, 50%, because of our market advantages, all these indicators, all these oscillators, all these things that we have created, the trading system, everything we have done to make sure that we have a higher rate of success than just a 50-50 coin flip. So those are the 3 most important things that we are talking about in the group this week. And I want to share it with the community because I understand not everybody had an opportunity to be in the group and not everyone's going to have an opportunity, but it doesn't mean that you can't learn as well. You don't have to just follow Moonboy channels and stuff. You can pay attention and learn and study this stuff. You can buy a book on different forms of technical analysis. You can get on the internet and look up actual technical analysis. Although anybody can write up anything they want on the internet, it takes actual work and experience or money or somebody believing in you to publish a book. So that's why I recommend that you actually go out, because if somebody's going to make disinformation in a book to sell it to you, at least they put in the work to trick you, as opposed to an influencer online like Ivan on Tech selling a pump and dump group and screwing over the people that buy a course and signal service from him when he's not even an analyst. He's a tech guy. His name is Ivan on Tech. He'll show you how to fork Bitcoin and create your own shitcoin out of it, and then it will have 0 value and 0 use, and he'll sell you a course on that, but at least he's not deceiving you, okay? But in this case, he's such an idiot that he's literally one of the top influencers in the space and doesn't even realize how the blockchain works. The tech guy doesn't realize how the blockchain works, and he's selling technical analysis when in all actuality, he's a technician as far as how system is supposed to work. It makes no sense, okay? He literally got caught by someone just looking at the ledger and seeing that right before the moves that he was calling out in his signal service happened, somebody else was taking massive buys. And then as soon as his pump and dump group got into him, he was dumping on their faces. So he literally not only was selling his people a course, selling people a signal service for $2,500. That was his discounted rate, $2,500 for his signals. And then you buy his signals, he gives you a signal, you take it, and then he distributes all over you and totally screws you over. So be careful who you're trusting in this space and what you're spending your money on. Spend it on your education, not a signal service from someone. Spend it on learning. Spend it on you. Don't spend it on an asset that's just going to dump and you're going to get your stop loss hit and you're going to have nothing left. Spend it on a piece of property. Spend it on a book, something that you will have left after it's all said and done. Buy a silver coin and put it in your, put it under your bed. Buy a piece of gold, a small one if that's all you can get. I mean, do something, but don't just waste your money and then go away, because when the move does finally happen and when crypto does finally explode and it does go to the upside, you're not going to be around anymore because you made this mistake, okay? But really, again, I'm not talking to you guys. I'm just frustrated because I see this over and over again. I see 19-year-old kids having their birthday and have 50,000 followers and they're getting them wrecked. He's telling people to FOMO into the absolute top right here, that you're going to miss your chance for the moon if you don't buy. And then we get wrecked. And then the next video is, guys, I got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, I bet you do have a bad feeling about this. I bet you do, because you probably FOMO'd into the top too, and you're telling your subscribers to do the same thing. Jeb. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous what is going on in this space right now. I mean, come on, guys. There's going to be nobody left. There's going to be no more influencers because they're all going to be scammers and have left. I mean, they can come back every 6 months like Jacob Canfield just pop back up. That's how you know we're back at the top again, when all the fakers and scammers come back out of the bushes. I mean, Jeb over here getting his people wrecked, setting up shop, trying to build a business off of, essentially nothing. Come on, guys. Let's build up the space. Let's build up each other. Let's teach each other. Let's help each other learn. Let's make a legitimate project something useful. I mean, it's not everybody has to be the next Richard Hart. Like, at least he took the time and built something, even if it was, a pump and dump. At least he built it. He didn't just get on stream like Dave Portnoy with his hammer and start banging it around talking about pump and dump. Like, are you serious right now? Have fun in prison, Dave. They're coming for you, Dave. SEC's coming. I hope you enjoy the green hammer from the backside, if you know what I'm saying. Or maybe it'll be the prison hammer from the backside, if you know what I'm saying. But maybe that's what you're into. I don't know. Maybe your funny little accent is, your way that you're gonna be a sweet little girl in prison. So enjoy yourself, man. All these scammers, enjoy yourselves, because eventually the SEC is gonna show up and they're coming for you. They're coming for you, big dogs, dumping on your friends, dumping on your followers, selling BS, tricking people, pumping, dumping. I mean, you think they can't go back and watch your videos? You think you're going to turn your channel off and they're not going to be able to find them? They're not going to be able to hit up YouTube and get your content that YouTube stores indefinitely once you've uploaded it? Pretty sure you're all going to prison. So think twice about screwing all these people over and dumping all over people and doing. And if you're gonna pump and dump, you better not say crypto pump and dumps are acceptable. So anyway, I'm not even trying to rant on all this. It just makes me so mad seeing all this horrible fake TA, everybody getting wrecked, and then I'm out here trying to help the space and reach out to people. And it's hard for me to gain legitimacy and gain followers because there's so much mud in the water you can't even see an inch in front of your face. So look, let's get some targets on here and then I'm out of here. All right, we're coming down. Moving averages, confluence. Entries are the most important thing. People always talk about, I hear this all the time, entries don't matter as long as you have direction. Well, to some degree, but if you want to put a stop loss in place, if you want to not get taken out of your trade on just one little scam wick or something like that, you better get a good entry. You better get this entry, you better get that entry, you better get this entry, you better get that entry. Those are our entries. That's what we did. And what is this pattern right here? What is this right here? What are you looking at? What does that look like to you? It looks like a giant middle finger. And when the market puts his finger up like that, that's saying, fuck you, we're going down. Okay, I'm telling you that right now. So when you see a middle finger like this, that tells you might creep back up here or whatever, but that's a wrap. That's a topping pattern. That is the top. Okay, so here we are, red slope, move back above it, faked out, push back up to the moving averages, selling off. The only way we could possibly even save this trend, or you could argue right now that there's a possibility, is by saying we're putting in a high or a low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And now look what's about to happen right now. This isn't even the low that matters. Everybody's talking about this low. This portion of the trend is already a downtrend. What matters right here is if we get a close on the 4-hour below 11,373. If we get a close below 11,373, we will have put in a low over here, and then a high right here, and then we'll take out this previous low, and then the next target after that will be this low right here, this close. And that one comes in at 11,068. And let's pop back up some of our stuff over here. Let's pop back up our moving averages and see what's going on here. Hang on a minute. Is that confluence again? Is that what's happening? I mean, just put this stuff on here, line it up, and see if it knocks it down. You know what I mean? Set the pins up, throw the ball, and see what gets knocked off. All right, so when we come down here and we bounce this area right here, we're going to hit the top breakout validation range. Okay, when we come down, we're going to hit right here. That's our target. We're going to close out this position. It's our moving averages, and then we would expect a move back up to the upside. And now look, we haven't got there yet, but if we were going to get there, if we were going to guess what's going to happen before it happens, let's put a fib on here and see where it would be. So we're saying that we're going to take this out. We're going to come down, hit our target, and we're going to potentially get to that moving average, which is our next target. So let's put a fib on here. So when we bounce this down here, look where it's going to come into line. It's going to come in line with that and that. Both the pieces of our wedge right here with the moving average. And then we're going to get our bounce back up. And if we don't validate by hitting at least the 236, which is how you can tell if a fib is considered validated, like as a swing high or swing low, for like the actual retracement to play out, that's going to be the exact retest of the breakdown. So this support right here is the SR flip. We break through the support, we're going to come back up and retest it. So we're going to come down here, we come back up, retest it. And what's going to happen then? We're going to re-short this area again. And it's going to line back up with our moving averages. We're going to have our continuation short in place. We're going to have our spot position that moves up that we're selling off here or putting into our accumulation account. And then we're going to take an additional short on top of this and stack back up. So we'll have taken profits on part of our short. We will re-enter that same part of the short and then continue it down. And the idea of doing that is not only do we capture the initial move down, we capture the move back up with the long position or the spot position, and then we're able to capture again the move down, not only with the initial position that we closed out with the remaining position open waiting for target 2, but now we're basically, what are we doing? We're dollar cost averaging. But I mean, obviously we're going down right now, so we're dollar cost averaging down because we're selling off. We're selling more at a lower price. But it's the same as if we were dollar cost averaging up. You're selling into weakness. It's the same as buying into strength. So as this trend is selling off, we're selling here, we're taking profits on the bounces, and then when it shows weakness and starts rolling over, when it fails to put in new highs, when it fails to get a legitimate retracement, we're selling into weakness. We're saying this looks weak. I'm going to keep selling more into it. And it's the same with buying into strength. As we're continually getting stronger here, you know, people are waiting for the big pullback because they want to get a good price. But really, you just take a buy. Take a buy. Take a buy. Take a buy. You know what I mean? And then when it starts looking shady, that's when you're like, wait a minute here. This is already looking like distribution. You see it all coming ahead of time. Come on, guys. I'm sorry because I care. All these people say they care about their followers. They care about their subscribers. They care about their groups. Look what they're doing to people over and over again. They're dumping on their heads. They don't even have the time to go through their little comment sections and delete scammers out of their comment section. They don't even have time to go block the scam people in the comment sections that are putting up these crazy, oh, Mr. G helped me out. He sent me, with his trading course, I sent him 0.1 Bitcoin and he returned 93 Bitcoin to me and now I'm a millionaire. Like, come on, man. It doesn't even sound realistic. And who's putting their phone number in the comments? And, who's pitching like somebody else's like Twitter or somebody else's group or something like that on your page? And why don't you have a moderator or something, somebody that can be part of your course or be part of your group or is part of your community that's willing to go through every day and help block out those comments or whatever? Because you don't care. That's why. You don't care. If you don't have the effort to go through and block these things out, I mean, I'm not a big channel. I get it. But with growth comes like, community. And the community should care about each other and grow together. And you should be building up camaraderie between you guys. You should be building up legitimate friendships and enjoying trades together, wins together, watching each other's back, sharing positive trades with each other. I mean, that's what this is all about. That's what my group's all about. And, there's so much going on in the world right now. If you can't recognize good and bad anymore, I don't even blame you. Because I think that's what's going on. I think people are just so caught up in their ways and they're so sensitive and everything. But the truth is, if you're sensitive and you're having problems with this stuff, you're letting your emotions control you. And in this space, you cannot use your emotions. You have to eliminate them out. I am a technician when it comes to technical analysis. I mean, I will take a trade whether I like it or not because my system says to. And that is how it works. That's what this is all about. That's what eliminating emotion and eliminating bias and personal opinion is. I literally take trades sometimes and say, I don't even want to take this trade. It looks terrible to me. Honestly, probably going to get stopped out. Enters trade, probably gets stopped out, maybe wins. But I'm taking every trade when my system says to. And if you don't have a system that is clearly defined, clearly identifiable, clearly repeatable, clearly successful. You can't backtest it. I mean, that's not a system at all. You're just playing a game. And that's cool. We play the game too, but we play the game by the rules. And that way, when we break the rules, we break it full on knowing that we're breaking the rules. We know the rules very, very well. So when we do break them, that's like the executive decision from the top saying like, all right, but you know what? I don't even like to do that. I'd rather just trust the system, because the whole point of all these indicators, oscillators, and the system is that we built something so great that it operates independently of myself. It takes everything I know and then it's better than me. It's able to identify clear stuff that I might not catch. It's able to eliminate the FOMO. It's able to eliminate the emotions. That's what this is all about. So if you're not taking, trades because you're afraid, you're not sure, you don't want to get wrecked, you're trading with too much. Trading with too much of your account. Separate your account into 100 pieces, okay? If you have $100, trade with $1 at a time. It's all in percentages. And then once you get that $100 up to $110, then start trading with a decent amount of money. Don't just go in big on the first one because you think this is going to be the winner and you don't want to miss out. Because the truth is, for the last, 3 years, everybody's been saying, oh, it'll never be this price again, it'll never be this price again. It's probably going to be that price again. Let's be real here. I remember everybody was saying it's never going below 10,000 again. It's never going below 10,000 again. Never going below 12,000 again. Never going below 9,000 again. Well, not too long ago, we just had a massive wick dump down to 3,800, okay? So all the people that said it's never going below 10,000 again were wrong by like $6,200. They were wrong by 62%. They were wrong by an entire fib retracement, the 618, the golden zone. Come on, guys. What do you think's going to happen next? You think we're going back down to 3,800? I don't know. I can't tell you for sure, but I think we're probably going to 4,100 when the stock market crashes and we get this dump when old Trumpy Trump comes in, and whether he's going to win or not, whether you like him or not, whether you like the Dems, whether you like the Republicans, whether you like all the different stuff that's going on in our world right now, whether you're all about women power, man power, black, white, Asian, Mexican, whatever it is that you're sensitive about because it applies to you, that's all part of the system. We are all being tricked into this division all over the world. I mean, USA versus China, Europe versus this, all this stuff, all these groups and all this division and all this quote unquote identity politics is making you sensitive to something that you shouldn't be. And if you're in this space and you are sensitive towards stuff like that, you're in the wrong space. Because this space will eat you up and throw you out if you're using your emotions. If you are letting someone else or something else or your emotions control you, that's inside of you. If you cannot reprogram your brain and become better than that, you shouldn't be trading. Invest in something that is consistently going up over time. And I can't even say that right now because the stock market doesn't look good to me at all, obviously. You have 5 stocks in the entire stock market that are up this year, carrying everything up to all-time highs. Meanwhile, everything else is, barely rallying off of its dump. The economy is shut down in like 90% of the world. There's very little being produced. There's very little being distributed. Everything is taking longer. Businesses are unable to sustain. We are going through a legitimate change in the world right now that is going to last. The echoes of this will last for 30, 50. You'll read about this in 100 years, okay? So don't get wrecked in the middle of it, because if all you have to do right now is just not lose your money, because it's going to be exponentially more valuable in the future. And when I say money, like people say, oh, the dollar's going down, oh, this is going down, oh, that's going down. This stuff doesn't happen overnight, okay? It happens over a year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. So all you have to do is just pay enough attention that you can get with the market, get with the trend, and do what the trend is doing. If all of a sudden the dollar starts strengthening again and going to the upside, get more dollars. You don't have to pick the absolute bottom. If all of a sudden gold and silver start selling off because the 8 and the 21 moving average are crossing, you don't have to just go out and sell all your gold and silver. Prepare yourself to buy the dip because you still believe in that. The trend has not been invalidated. It's just a pullback. All right? And realistically, the reason silver is stronger than gold is because everyone knows silver is going back to all-time highs very, very soon. We're going back to like $50. It just hasn't got there yet. And the only reason it didn't get there is because gold showed weakness at its all-time high and it got there first. So very near future, I expect them to decouple at least a little bit, and silver to run up to all-time highs, and it might happen off of whatever retracement's about to happen. But guys, go buy a book. Buy a book from the 1930s, okay? Buy a book from the 1920s. Buy a book from somebody who was alive 100 years ago, or that dealt with the exact situation that we're going through right now. Buy that book, okay? Don't go out and buy Warren Buffett's book. Like, buy a useful book. Buy something that is going to help you learn. Buy something that is going to teach you how to do your own taxes. Buy a book that's going to teach you how to invest in real estate from a legitimate real estate investor. I'm not talking about a course from someone like Grant Cardone or Clickbait Kevin. Don't buy his bags when he tries to pump and dump some stock that's up from $5 already to $20, and he's telling you there's value in it when the company's been around for how many years, and they had dumb commercials back when people were still watching TV. I haven't even watched TV in I don't even know, probably 5 years, and I remember their stupid commercials. So now all of a sudden, this company with pathetic revenue that's probably getting ready to declare bankruptcy, now their stock pumps back up from $5 to $20, and now they don't have to declare bankruptcy yet because they want to get a little more government handout. You can't trust these people. I'm sorry to say it, and I hate that this video turned into this, but this is a dire warning to every single one of you guys. These people are out here to help themselves and for their own personal gain. YouTube is the future of videos and all this stuff, and it's the shift between traditional television and traditional stuff to the streaming service and the identity television or identity videos, identity whatever. It's awesome, and there's so much potential out there because you can't just flip on a regular TV station and see what you're into come on TV some obscure thing that you really like. If you're into crocheting, you're not going to find a crocheting program, and if you do, you seek it out super hard on some crazy weird channel or some crazy station or whatever. YouTube is changing that. These different platforms are changing that. You can go and look for exactly what you want and find exactly what you want, but there's two different types of people that are doing it. There's people that ask for a Patreon, or people that ask for a donation or whatever, and you're helping to grow that and giving back to them, but those people aren't relying on you for income. And then there's the other ones. There's the ones that are selling you something. They're selling you a dream. They're selling you a course. They're selling you an idea. They're selling you freedom. They're selling you a lie in the hardest time that we will probably and definitely ever go through in our lives. Unless you were alive in the 1920s and you're super old, over 100 years old, and you just happen to not show up in my YouTube demographics. Unless you're that person and you're just anonymous, I'm talking to you. We're getting ready to go through the worst, overall, probably I don't even know, 10, 20, 30 years of our lifetimes. Everything is going to change. The whole financial system, all of it is going to come crashing down. If it doesn't come crashing down, it's going to be revolutionized. The credit system is going to absolutely implode, collapse, whatever. If I'm not mistaken, I think right now for every real dollar, there is $140 in credit. So at some point in time, it's all going to tighten back up. And what's going to happen is they're going to cut off people's credit cards. They're going to cut off the limit. You're going to go to use it, and it's not going to work because they had to tighten it up because they had to make sure that nobody else is using money that they don't have. And then when that happens, all of a sudden that money you're counting on isn't going to be there anymore, and then it's going to hit the fan. And then what do people do? They're not just going to keep paying their credit cards. Then they're going to resent those credit cards for cutting them off because they needed that money. I needed that money to do this and that, and then I was going to be okay, and I was going to pay you off, but no, I'm not because you're screwing me, or whatever it is. Same with landlords. People are just not going to leave their houses, and you have to go to court and get them evicted and kicked out. And meanwhile, the landlord's going to lose everything he had because now he has someone living in his place, going through all this arbitration, lawyer bills, all this stuff, try to sue somebody, try to get the cops to come and kick him out. Meanwhile, now he can't make his payments. He can't make his payments on the house that he's renting out to you. I mean, it's all going to come crashing down. It's already starting. The only difference is right now it looks like better than it is because of the stock market and this fake hope and this fake dream and everything that's going on. But in all reality, it's going to set in very, very soon. And the only reason this is all being inflated and held up longer is because the presidential elections are right around the corner. And there's a vested interest in, one of the two parties making sure that the stock market doesn't crash before you get reelected. But after you get reelected, it doesn't matter. And this is not about who I like and don't like, okay? Because I think it's all corrupt. I don't like the system. I don't like Democrats. I don't like Republicans. I don't like any of it. All these people are corrupt. They've been in the system too long, and they're all corrupt. They're all dirty, because the only way to get high up in any of these systems is through corruption. You have to be a part of it. And Hollywood has been exposed for it. All these people are coming out and saying they were like molested and all this stuff went down and they were forced to do like sexual acts and favors and all this stuff, because the system is so corrupt that to ever get ahead, you had to be a part of it. And then by the time they get on top and they become a part of it, they just expect to be able to do that to other people because they paid their dues. And that's the same thing with politics. And it's the same thing with a lot of religion too. And you have to be so careful with this stuff because it's the same thing. It's like all this Catholic stuff with the popes and everything like that. You don't think for 1 second that they had that same stuff done to them, and now they get up there and they're the big dog, they're the preacher, they're the priest, whatever, and then they start doing this stuff to little boys and everything, and you start reading about all this messed up stuff and wondering, what the heck is going on here? How could this ever be going down? Because it's been going down for hundreds of years. It's been going down for thousands of years. It's the same thing over and over because it's cycles, okay? Just like the market cycles, they come in, 3 years and 5 years and 20 years and 100 years. And we are at the end of a 100-year cycle. You know how they're always talking about a 100-year storm? That was a 100-year storm. That we won't see another one of those in our lifetime. Then the next year, oh my gosh, that was a 1,000-year storm. We won't see another one of those in our lifetime. And what's going to be next? It's going to be a 10,000-year storm, and that's an asteroid hitting the Earth. And at this point in time, we might be better off. We might be better off we start over. A couple people make it out of here. I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing at this point in time? Let's focus here. Let's use technicals. Let's use math. Let's use science. Let's make educated, intelligent decisions. Let's take our heart out of this space. If you want to put your money somewhere, don't put your heart in the same place. Separate that. That's diversification. That's what you want to do. Put your heart somewhere else, man. Put your heart in helping people and being a good person. That's what I do. Put your money somewhere else, though. Don't put your money where your heart is. You know what I mean? Like when I bet on stuff, if I'm betting on like a sports team or something like that or a fight, I don't like to bet on it if I have a dog in the race. If I like one of the players or one of the teams or one of the fighters, I don't like to bet on them if they're one of my favorites because I have a bias now. I'm biased. My emotions are involved in that. And now, all of a sudden, my system and my way of making money is not reliable. It's compromised by my heart, by my emotions, by my feelings. So if you can take that out and you get a system, you get entries, you get stop losses. That's very important. Risk management. Entries, exits. Take profits. Stop losses. Risk management. Now, risk reward. If you can find a situation where you're always getting the favorite but you have an even chance of winning, if every time you have an even matchup with your buddy and you flip a coin, you're right, you get $2, he's wrong, you're right, he gets $1. You can flip the coin as many times as you want. Matter of fact, way before he's done flipping the coin, or way before you're done flipping the coin, he's going to want to quit. He's like, man, I'm not even having fun anymore, man. You're crushing me. You ever played a game against somebody, chess or something like that, and they beat you like 7 out of 10 games or 9 out of 10 games? After a while, you don't want to play anymore. That's what we do in the market. We win so much, the market don't want to play anymore. But I don't want you to be the guy who doesn't play anymore. I want you to be on the side with us, winning. I'm done for today. There's your rant. I hope you enjoyed it. Man, I'm not even allowed to. I'm in such a good mood. Like, I feel like sometimes I get on here and it seems like I'm in a bad mood. And I mean, I feel bad for people sometimes. I feel sorry for them. And I don't want to be like the guy who's prosperous in like all these horrible times. But you know what? I'm not going to stop being prosperous. I'd rather just share it with you guys. So be prosperous with us, man. Watch the video again. Watch the old videos. Learn stuff. You could watch the old videos, watch how they play out, and learn still, even if the price action isn't relevant anymore. And that's the problem with these videos is you make one of these videos every day or every 2 days or whatever, and people watch it within a couple days or whatever, but nobody ever goes back and watches it. Like there's no valuable information in it. They're all loaded with valuable information, every single one of them. You just don't want to look at it because it's not relevant to price action anymore. And you're watching these videos because you want to know what's going to happen. And that's why people get wrecked. They're not doing their research. They're not watching that backlog, okay? Those are up there for a reason. There's hundreds of videos up there for a reason. I have over a year of this channel now. And I think it's like over 250, 300 videos, okay? I've been out here grinding for you guys when nobody was around. One of my first videos was about stock market crashing before it crashed. I started this YouTube channel to try to help people, okay? And I've only grown 500 people in a year. And what does that tell me? Well, I mean, I probably could do things better, of course. I could probably like get social media. I could probably, advertise myself a little more. I could, upgrade the quality of the channel. I could show my face. I could do, there's tons of stuff I could do to be better. Tons of stuff. I 100% agree with that. But what it really tells me is that people don't want to be saved. It's like that song. She don't want to be saved. You can't save her. That's it. She don't want to be saved. You can't save her. So if you're in this space, look yourself in the mirror and say, do I want to be saved or not? Because if you don't want to be saved, don't worry about it. Tune in. Watch the videos. Get wrecked by your boys. You know what I mean? Buy some scam course. Listen to some dude on YouTube who's making money off of you that has, it's just income for a lot of them, and that's fine. They're putting in the work, coming on every day, putting out 45-minute videos, chugging water in their microphone, showing off their hairy backs, yelling profanities, screaming at their girlfriends in the kitchen. Whatever, man, that's cool. Go ahead, do that stuff. But that's entertainment, okay? That's not education. That's two different things. So right now with everything going on, I think it's time to cut out the entertainment, at least tone it back a little bit. Tone that Netflix back. Don't be watching so many movies, okay? Don't be watching all this junk and filling your mind with it and confusing yourself. Let your brain focus on learning, okay? Put a book in the bathroom, and every time you go in there, leave your phone at your desk or in your room or on the table and go in there and read part of that book. Educate yourself. And if you start doing this in every aspect of your life, you start reading when you're in the bathroom, you start watching educational stuff on YouTube or TV or whatever, you start watching documentaries, you start watching about finance, you start watching stuff about the Great Depression, the recession, about trends changing, you start learning, watch them crypto trend trader videos, you start learning, you're going to take your life to the next level. You're going to take your family to the next level. You want to learn about whatever it is. You want to pick up your Bible, pick up your Quran, whatever it is. Just whatever you care about, learn about that and then turn that into your specialty. Because if you put 10,000 hours into something, you basically become a professional at it. You become so efficient and so knowledgeable about that, having put in the research, that you are now essentially a teacher. You could teach other people now. So if you think whatever your interest is, you can't turn that into a career, you're wrong. Because the system told you that you couldn't do that, okay? Whatever it is, I don't care what it is. You want to finger paint? Be a teacher. Teachers finger paint for a living. They told you when you're a little kid, you got to grow up, man. You can't be finger painting for the rest of your life. But you sure about that? Everything is like that. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not just art. You know what I mean? People say, whatever it is. You can't just play video games your whole life. You can't just sit around playing video games. Well, you know what? I know some people that play Fortnite and make $1 million playing video games. So, you probably can. The world has changed. It's not the same anymore. Okay? This whole cookie cutter thing, we're done with it. We got to break out of it. We got to break out of these identity politics. We got to break out of this sensitivity and just be yourself and grow into something great. And if you don't like something, don't deal with it. Don't whatever. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you just avoid every type of confrontation and every little thing that you don't like and every little thing that hurts your feelings or whatever, or you just say what you got to say and then you just run off and don't let anybody else get a word in, you're never going to grow as a person. You're never going to learn. You're never going to become better. It's like those Facebook people who say, if you don't agree with me about X topic, go ahead and comment so I can delete you. And then you know what happens? You know what happens then? You end up with a Facebook with only people that believe and agree with everything you say. And then all of a sudden you start thinking the whole world agrees with you and believes everything that you say. And you start getting so engulfed in that and so engrossed in that you forget there's reality out there. And the truth is, chances are you're probably not even right about your beliefs. Statistically, you're wrong about whatever it is you're believing in. And even if you are right, there's somebody else out there who knows more than you. And if you mess up, they might be on the other side of that. They might disagree with you, but know more about what you're saying than you do. So be careful who you cut out of your life, all right? If something's toxic and something's bad, for sure, go ahead, cut it out of your life. I'm all about that, positivity or whatever. But if you keep finding that everything's toxic and you keep cutting all this stuff out of your life and it's not getting better and it's still toxic, maybe that toxicity is on the inside of you and you need to retrain your brain. You need to dig down deep inside and extract that toxicity so that you can grow. And you know what's a good way to do that? Be nice to everybody all the time. Smile at them through your mask. Smile at people at the grocery store through your mask. Thank the people that are working their job right now in retail or whatever it is, the post office, whatever it is. When you see somebody, just smile at them. Because I'm going to tell you right now, with that mask on and everything, they could still tell. I still smile at people, and they could tell. I see them smiling back. I say thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate you being out here. And most people shrug it off and go, yeah, okay, cool, man, great. Because they probably don't want to be there. But you know what? I know for a fact they'd rather hear me say thank you, or you say thank you, or you pay it forward, or buy somebody coffee, or whatever it is. Positivity begets positivity, and negativity is the same way too. If you go out and you're negative all the time, you're going to see negativity everywhere. And this is it. I'm out of here after this. My final note is, I had a girl on my Facebook that I've known for a long time, and she's like an advocate against animal cruelty. Okay, so she shares like animal cruelty videos and goes, "This has got to stop." Well, then you know what happens? The YouTube algorithm understands that that's provoking a reaction out of you. And what it does is, it's so smart that it provokes you because that's how it makes money. That's how it gets clicks. That's how it gets views. That's how it gets shares. So it provokes you with all this negativity over and over and over again. So all you see is dogs getting abused or whatever it is that you're sharing, whatever it is that you're trying to raise awareness on. All it does is just keep pumping that in. And then next thing you know, you just think that like everywhere there's just all these dogs getting abused or all these animals getting abused or whatever. Yeah, of course it's a thing. But you're literally like creating that. You're manifesting that reality for yourself. And the YouTube algorithm and Facebook and all these programs, all these mathematical, legitimate like programs are basically tricking you based on your emotions, based on your feelings. And if you don't think for 1 second that that's what the market is all about too, go ahead and leave this space because you are going to get wrecked. Because it's the same exact thing. The algorithms, the trading bots, it does the exact same thing. It pumps the price in the opposite direction. It throws it over. It throws the baseball off the edge of the cliff. It doesn't just go to the edge of the cliff and throw it straight down. It throws it up as high as it can first. And when it runs out of steam, it starts coming back down. And it still reaches terminal velocity. And it still goes way down. But the difference is it came down from even higher. And that's what it's all about. And same thing with the spring to the upside. It pushes it down first and it looks like it's about to dump. And then all of a sudden it goes to the moon. And you think, what the heck, man? That's why you have to be ahead of these things. You cannot be behind them all the time. So cut out the negativity. Have a plan. Do your analysis ahead of time. And then watch the trade setups play out. And if you're having trouble with your emotions and you're entering trades and then they start going against you and you start thinking, I got to be at the charts, I can't go do whatever, I can't go on with my life, you're getting all emotional, you're getting worried because you're losing money. You're trading with too much. You're looking for a lottery ticket win, and that's not what this is all about. It's all about just consistent gains, okay? You don't have to make that much money to do well off of trading. You don't need to have $1 million account to do well off trading. But I'm going to tell you right now, you need consistently to win. Because if you're not winning with $100 in the account, swing trading it or scalping it or whatever, you're not going to win with $1,000. You're not going to win with $10,000. You might get lucky in a bull run. You might catch a good move. You might pick up on a Twitter pump and dump and be on the right side of it. But that's not how you win. That's not repeatable. That's not consistent. Risk management, position sizing, winning over time. You're not going to quit your job tomorrow and become a full-time trader. You might not even have a job tomorrow. So it's even more important right now to protect your capital. Number one thing, protect your capital. Protect your capital. Protect your capital. Protect your family, protect your house, protect your people, protect your capital. That's the most important thing, because you cannot win with something if you already lost it. If it's gone, you can't double it. You can't make gains on zero. All right? I mean, you can get that stem check and you're going to put it in the market and it's just going to go into my pocket. It's going to go into somebody else's pocket because you didn't put in the work. Buy a book on Amazon or eBay or whatever. Read, study. Don't buy some course from somebody. Don't buy some signal service from somebody. These people are not good people. Crypto is plagued with horrible, horrible people. And if you don't think that traditional markets are the same way, wait till this all comes crashing down. Wait until this capital gains tax holiday or whatever goes into effect. They're going to, and it'll probably be retroactively too. The stock market's going to start crashing, and then all of a sudden they're going to come out and say, we're going to do a retroactive capital gains suspension. So you can take up to so many $1 million out of the stock market or out of assets or whatever without having to pay capital gains tax on them. And we're going to backdate it 1 week because it's not fair that the stock market crashed and these people aren't going to be able to retire or lost this big chunk of money. And if you don't think that that's all going to be preordained and pre-planned and it's going to be inside trading and the dump's going to happen before they do that, you're crazy. Because I'm telling you right now, so much corruption in the system. Look at Kelly LaFleur. Look at what's going on. She was all part of Bakkt, and it was going to send Bitcoin to the moon and everything. Her husband is the owner of the New York Stock Exchange. She found out about COVID early and, sold massive amounts of stocks. She got away with it and said she had nothing to do with it. Millions of dollars after a meeting specifically about what was about to happen in the world and the country and everything. And now she has a position in politics. After she left the exchange, she got basically handed to her through corruption, through backdoor deals, and now she's got another position too. She's part of one of the task forces. So if you are being investigated for insider trading and all these shady practices, and you should be in jail, and instead you get a new promotion with six-figure salary, something's wrong here. And I'm not saying it's on one side or the other. It's all wrong. All of it's wrong, and it's all going to come crashing down. And if you don't realize that that's what all this civil and social unrest is all about, it's a class war right now. Okay? Because there's no reason all these countries should be civilized but not have health care. There's no reason that they should have privatized, for-profit food industry, drug industry, prison industry, healthcare industry, insurance industry. And this is it. I'm letting you go on this one. If you're not sure about who they care about, let me tell you one thing right now about the U.S. In the United States, you are required by law to have both car insurance and health insurance. That's the law. You have to have both of them. And they offer, stuff for people that can't really afford it or help you out or programs or grants or whatever. But if you don't have car insurance and you have a car or drive around or whatever and you get in trouble, you can go to jail for that. You get in trouble. You will pay a fine. You will go to jail. You will not get out of it. There will be repercussions because they need to protect everybody else from you in case you do something dumb. You're driving around in a car, you crash it, you hurt somebody, you kill somebody, whatever. You might not have the money to cover it, so you better have the insurance to cover it. And then they have insurance for when the insurance isn't insuring you, which is, underinsured or not insured motorist insurance. So if somebody hits you and they don't have insurance, your insurance will cover it. You're paying part of that. Now, what about healthcare? You're required by law to have healthcare in the United States as of a few years back. But every year when you fill out your taxes, there's a thing on there that says, did you have healthcare? How many months a year did you not have healthcare? Could you afford healthcare? Did they offer it through your job? Why didn't you have healthcare? And if you answer the questions and you didn't have it, they'll waive the fine. They'll waive the fee. So what do they really care about? They care about protecting property, protecting other people against you more than they care about your actual health. Or else they will require you by law to have health care, and they would back it up, and you would go to jail, or you would get free health care if you didn't have it, or they would give you a fine and say, you're going to get it next year, or you're going to pay again. But they don't do that. The punishments don't fit the crime. All right? It's all a game. It's all a farce. Okay? Because when these banks do something shady and they make, $100 million off of something shady they did, how much do they get charged? What's their fines? What's their fees? It's not $100 million. They'll pay like $5 million. So he still made $95 million. So if you went in your mom's purse and you took a $100 bill out of it, and your mom came and she grabbed your hand and goes, I know you stole from me. You stole $100, didn't you? And you go, yeah, I did, Mom. You caught me. I'm sorry. And she goes, all right, give me back $5 and everything's fine. Wait, what? You're not going to stop stealing. You're going to go and steal more. Because the punishment does not fit the crime. You don't get grounded. You don't have to pay back the 100 plus another 100. So you're just going to keep doing it. And that's how all this system works. Okay? It's a slap on the wrist. It's a fake punishment. And that's what this is all about, guys. It's all about exposing the system. And it's turning you all against each other. And it's making people overly sensitive. And it's getting in people's heads. And it's causing all this craziness. And the truth is, all we got to do, get rid of all this junk, man. We don't need all this politics. We don't need identity politics. We don't need to worry about, race and religion and all this stuff. Because the truth is, man, if you're fighting over stuff that you care about because you feel close to it, but we're all humans. We're all people. We're all on this earth together. We're sharing the earth, so we should all care about the environment. We have a 99.9% the same DNA, but we look a little different, and now we're mad at each other. One person had it a little harder than you, so you're mad at them. But the truth is, we all had it hard, man. It's different for everybody, okay? And there's people of all race, religion, creed that had it hard. If you're all about stopping slavery, me too, man. Let's help people that are slaves right now. For real. Let's raise money and let's help people that are slaves right now on this earth while we have YouTube and technology and cell phones and there's still people that are enslaved, okay? If something happened to you and you relate to it, be an activist. Help other people. Don't dwell on it and let it eat you up on the inside, because it's just going to turn you black. It's going to turn you black on the inside. Evil and pain and all that's just going to build, and it's going to get worse and worse. It's going to make you hate everything. But the truth is, it probably wasn't even that bad for you. I mean, it was. The bad stuff happens to everybody, but, you suck it up. You move on. Everything's cool. But if you just let all the crimes that have ever been committed against humanity, just dwell inside of you, realizing that you could never do anything about it, you're helpless, it's just going to eat you up. It's going to tear you apart, and you're going to rot from the inside, and you'll never be able to save yourself. And most people don't realize that nobody can save you. You got to save yourself. You want to be happy? Start being happy. You don't know how to be happy? Buy a book. Teach you how to be happy. But I'm going to tell you right now, go stand in front of the mirror for a minute. Look at yourself in the mirror and smile. Smile at yourself in the mirror. And maybe you got to force it at first because you're not happy. But I'm going to tell you right now, you do it enough times. You're going to smile. You're going to make yourself smile. And if you don't think that works on other people too, you're wrong, because you're more powerful than you think. You walk around with that mask on and you start smiling at people and you start being nice and stuff, and you go back to that place the next day, you know what's going to happen? You're going to see that same employee again. Maybe not every day. Maybe not the same employee the next day. But you're going to see that same person at the market again. You're going to see that same person at the post office again or whatever. And you know what they're going to do to you when they see you? They're going to smile. They're going to smile. And you did that. You manifested reality. Okay? And that's the power we have. And I don't mean to get emotional on y'all, man. But I feel the pain of the world struggling right now. And I know people are hurting. I'm here to help, man. If you need help, you need somebody to talk to, hit me up in the comments. I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to, speak to you. I would love to hear what you do on a daily basis to promote positivity in this world and to make it a better place. I would love to just hear where you're from. I would love to hear just one thing that would make you happy. Anything, man. Just put something in the comments positive. Put something in the comments positive. I would love that. We're getting ready to make big changes on this channel, and we're getting ready to make leaps and bounds. And I want every one of you guys to be a part of it, and I want you to bring somebody with you. I want you to bring a friend. And it doesn't have to be about crypto. It doesn't have to be about gold or silver or real estate or whatever. Let's just have it be about positivity and, furthering this population making the world a better place. Because one day, we're either going to succeed or we're going to fail. It's either going to be better or worse, okay? But it's up to us. We don't need these people on top. We don't need these people in control telling us what we can and can't do and controlling everything. We don't need, like, all this crazy extra bureaucracy, all right? We don't need it like they used to. Back in the day, people couldn't just leave their farm and go to Washington and vote on stuff. They couldn't just drop everything and go study politics and learn about, all these laws and rules and regulations to make educated decisions and then come back and tell their little town about all this stuff. But now we can. We have the internet. You got a smartphone. You got TV. You got whatever you need to learn, tools. You got library, books, whatever it is. You got Crypto Trend Trader. Holler at your boy. I'll teach you something. You want to learn something? Come on, let's go. We'll do it together. I don't claim to know it all, but maybe you teach me something, I teach you something. We'll reciprocate this. Make this world a better place. But it all starts inside of each and every one of us. And if each and every person went out and just smiled at one person through that mask, without a mask, whatever, wave, there's so much more to it. You see it in your eyes. You see that mask just lift up a little bit, and there's a smile underneath. You're gonna change the world one little smile at a time. And it don't even have to be that, man. Don't even look at people. I don't care. Buy somebody a coffee. You know what I mean? Pay extra $5 towards somebody's groceries when you're leaving. Maybe you don't have money, you can't do that. But there's something you could do to help people. There's something you could do to be better. And right now what's happening is we're growing away from each other, and we're getting all this identity politics, and we're fighting over everything, and people are broke down on the side of the road anymore. They don't even stop. They don't even stop anymore. Back in the day, I'm good with cars. I grew up working on cars and stuff and fixing things, and I'm good with my hands. Back in the day, I'd see somebody broken down on the side of the road. I'd pull over and I'll help them. I'll change their tire. I'll help fix their car. I've fixed so many people's cars on the side of the road and sent them on their lucky way. I mean, it's unbelievable. People don't do it anymore because now they figure, oh, you got a cell phone. You'll call AAA on the way. I can't help you. I got somewhere to be. I'm in a hurry. I realized that one day. I used to help people all the time, and one day I was in a rush. I was going to work, and I'm like, man, I can't stop. I gotta be at work. And then I had somebody hit me up and say, hey, I know you work on cars, man. Is there any way you could help me put this alternator in? And I said, it's not worth my time. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to pay somebody to do it. And that's when I realized, we're just being conditioned to not help each other out anymore. And that's like that old saying, you can't raise a child by yourself. You need what is it? You need a village to raise a child or whatever. We don't have villages anymore, man. People don't even talk to their neighbors anymore. They don't get along with their neighbors anymore. They're fighting over a bush hanging over their property, or them mowing a little too much of the lawn. I mow a little bit of my neighbor's lawn, just cause maybe it'll save him a couple steps. You know what I mean? But now it's hey man, don't be mowing my lawn. Wait, what? Hey, you never have to worry about that again. That's it for today, guys. We didn't even talk about TA today. This is going to dump. We're going to keep going. Look, we took out the low. We're coming down here. We're getting ready to take out this low. What's going to happen next? Come on, guys. Crypto Trend Trader. And I'm out. Hey, but before I go, love yourself. Love your neighbor. Treat people with respect. Treat people how you want to be treated. I don't care what they look like, what they act like. I don't care about any of it. All right? Just be a good person, and you will get good reciprocated upon you. But before any of that can happen, manifest it in your head. Think right now and say, if I go in this mirror right now and I smile at myself and I stay there for one whole minute just smiling, is it possible that I'm not going to feel better? Or say, I'm going to go smile at myself in this mirror and I'm going to make myself feel better. And I'm going to smile and I'm going to feel good. When I walk out there, I'm going to feel good. And I bet you manifest that good. You manifest whichever one you want. You either fight it and you don't smile and you don't feel good, or you manifest it and you do. But it's up to you. Manifest your reality. It's up to you. We are powerful. We are much more powerful than we realize. Our minds are so powerful. We could do anything. We create, we build. We send spaceships to the freaking moon. So if you think for 1 second there's somebody out there that can make a spaceship, send it to the moon, fly it up there, create a program, artificial intelligence allows us to, re-enter the Earth's atmosphere at thousands of miles per hour, but you can't figure out how to make yourself happy? Come on, man. You're not trying. You're not spending the time. You're not putting in the work. All right, that's it. Love you guys. Crypto Trend Trader, I'm out.